Welcome back to the Vertu YouTube channel. Now, we've got something pretty special today, just because it's in hyper green. Yes, this is the Škoda Elroq vRS, might I add. Family sportiness. But could it be the answer to your next daily? Well, we're about to find out. Okay, before we talk about anything else, let's talk about money, because the entry level of the Elroq could be yours for £30,858 today at the time of filming. That's the entry level, not the vRS. For a start, let's talk about the design. This is a lovely crossover SUV. It looks so nice, and Skoda really do get it right. Let's talk about the design first of all. Of the front, looks very electric, very aerodynamic, but something I really like about it is the LED lights that go into this long bar across, and it's got these little lights all the way through it, LEDs all the way through. Looks particularly nice at night and just sort of adds that little bit of panache to a very nice looking car. We've got a little bit of a grille there, a bit of a fakery sort of air intake, and we've got a lot of gloss black here, gloss black at the bottom, and also we've got the accents of hyper green. Hyper green is the colour I've mentioned already, and I think those little accents with the sort of fake air intake make it look very aggressive and just, what's the word I'm looking for? Nice. I use it all the time. Okay, let's talk about the design of the side. We've got vRS looking at us there with the gloss black that I mentioned. That is a theme. We've got mirror caps, and then we've got that going in through the roof rails, all the way around the windows. I just think it looks really nice. We've got a little bit of matte black at the side skirts as well. But wheels, let's talk wheels. 21-inch. You get the 20-inch, but you get the 21-inch as an upgrade. They've got a little bit of diamond cut in there, and they've got that hyper green accent as well in there. I think they look really nice. 21-inch. We're going to see if that makes for a very comfortable ride. I'm hoping so, considering this is meant to be an SUV. To the back, you think it'd be quite standard, but there are some things that I really like about this. For a start, the spoiler. Now, this is how you tell a vRS or a different version than the entry level. They've got this rear spoiler, which I think is quite nice. It's then matte black rather than the gloss black roof that we've got there, and then there's plenty of gloss black still here. We've got that at the bottom part of the rear diffuser, and we've got this sort of reflective light going along, and I do like these little sort of fake sort of air intakes on the side there that just break up that hyper green that we talked about. I just think it looks really nice. One thing they haven't done though, Skoda, with their all-electric SUV here, they haven't gone for the light bar. Everyone goes for a big light bar connecting the two rear tail lights. They've not gone for that, and I don't actually mind it, because not everything can be the same, can it? So there we go. I really like this car, if you cannot tell already. Let's open the boot and see how big it is. The boot. Now, you'd think on a sports car like a vRS, you'd think just get in and drive it. I'm going to spend some time on this boot, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this is 472 litres, but that is just the tip of the iceberg, my friend, because look at this. That is a charging wire place. It's got a little netting there to put your wire. I think that's quite cool. You're not just going to slam it in the boot. Sometimes they have a little secret compartment, doesn't need it. It's got some netting. I think that's quite good. Now, this boot has got lots of things to it. You think, what's this? I'll tell you what it is. It's a little bit of a faff to set up, but we're going to do it like Blue Peter. Here's what I made earlier, because I'm going to start showing. These got little clips here that actually fold away and then come out. So you put it up like that, and you put it up on this little clip here, and this is for people that are really transporting or really thinking about how they transport their shopping. So now there's a little hammock for things like soft things that you don't want to get squashed, and then you put maybe the heavier things down here, so this just sits in there in a little hammock. Are you thinking that's something unnecessary? Because I'm thinking it's fantastic. In addition, this boot, as you can see, hold that, cameraman. As you can see, look, there's a nice wipe clean sort of option there, but there's also spin it round And then you've got this fold away little option there. And obviously it spreads out here. Absolutely fantastic. There we go. It's all ready to go. And look, we've got a nice flat load space as well. No lip getting in there. I'm really liking this boot. We've got shelves and either side. We've got shelves to put stuff away. We've got little compartments. We've also got little clips that fold out. So I've got lots of little hooks on there, which is fantastic. And I've got these things. And these guys behind the camera were like, what are these? What are these? Well, I'll tell you what they are. If you've got a box or something, or a couple of boxes you want to transport, dividers. Straight away, we can divide our boot so the boxes can sit there. They're Velcro. Look at that. Zoom in on that. They can sit in that corner without sliding around the rest of the boot. They really thought about it. And it's got a 60-40 split there, and you can put the seats down easily by the back. And it's got a remote tailgate. I tell you what, buy the car for the boot. Review over. Right, on the inside here, the vRS, it is very, very nice. I thought it was going to be, and straight away that hyper green has continued into the interior as that stitching is all the way through the dash and all the way through these vRS sport seats, which are so, so cool. They're really, really nice, very comfortable. And you can tell they're a little bit sporty because when you get in, if you clip the seat on your way in, like the Focus RS back in the day, it kind of hurts. Kind of hurts your leg. That is solid, and it kind of clips you and gives you a little bit of a dead leg as you get in. People aren't going to like that, but it kind of took me back to a really sporty Focus RS, which we all know and love, right? Right, okay, let's talk about the rest of it. Hard plastics aren't anywhere to be seen on this. I'm so pleased because I thought that was going to be hard, and it's not. A little bit there, but everything else has got a textured sort of Alcantara material all through the dash, and then we've got a textured material up here and here. We've got a little bit of plastic there, but it's got a little carbony effect on it. Even though it's plastic, it looks really cool, and we've got that sort of silver trim throughout. It's just really, really nice. Right, let's talk about infotainment system. Now, there are no buttons for my climate control. I've got some buttons here, but there aren't for the climate control. That has to be done on here. But the good thing about the infotainment system, it is a very big screen and very easy to use, and there is a little bit of a scroll down button where you can actually customize your shortcuts, which I really like. That almost like your phone, right? So they kind of make it as user friendly as possible. I have got some shortcuts here to my climate control, which is nice because when I go to my climate control and start playing around with it, especially on the apps, I can actually go to some options, some shortcuts, some sort of cheat code options, fresh air, warm feet, warm hands. And I think that's really quite cool because it does exactly what it said on the tin. As soon as you get in, for example, when I'm watching my son play football on a Sunday morning, I want to get in, I want to have warm hands, and I want to have warm feet. They're two very things, so I can click on both of them. And I think that is quite a cool little function. So they're kind of luring me into the fact that we've not got buttons and think, it's okay, Zach, look, I've got this stuff. Okay, thank you very much. There we go. There's the climate control. I wish I had some buttons as well, but that's just me being pedantic. It's very responsive. There's no lag on there as well. Infotainment system done very well. The only thing I would like is the driver display to be a little bit bigger, please. It's very small. I have got heads-up display as well, which you're going to use probably more. So people are going to be like, well, you've got a heads-up display and a small driver display that does the thing, but I have been treated in other cars to a big infotainment system, big driver display and heads-up. So this is tiny, almost not worth having. There's no information on there really other than my range, my percentage battery, and my miles. But yeah, just me being pedantic. And very quickly before we move on to the back seats, the storage in here is fantastic. I've got two cup holders there, quite small. I can take the divider out though, but that is quite small. I've got two spaces for two phones, one's wireless charging pad, but I've got another, my passenger phone can sit in there as well. I've got this compartment of storage, which again almost seems too small for anything substantial, and also too big. It's just a weird size. I don't know what goes in there. maybe a chocolate bar, like a snack on the go. Yeah, maybe your phone can sit in there as well. I've got a massive compartment here that breaks apart. I've got this bin, and also what I really like about this, I've got this bin, which again, I don't know what's going to sit in there. Anyway, and you can take it out, but you also, right the way down there, you're going to have to film this, cameraman, it's got a bin in there that you can actually put a bag in. And look, that's in there as well. They like giving us compartments, and you're going to see in the back what I mean by that. So there we go, I've got a bin in there, I've got a bin in there. I keep saying bin, storage compartment, because they're not always going to be rubbish, right? I've got a big door bin. Oh, I said it again. And yeah, storage is fantastic. There we go, moving on. Right, in the back, I'm very happy because I've got loads of room and my feet go under the driver's seat. That's the driving position there, and I've got loads of room. I'm 6 foot tall, so loads of room here as well. Look at that. Head space, no problem at all. And I've been in some cars recently with that sloped roof where my head's touching the roof. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And that sort of theme of half leather, half Alcantara, sporty feel with the hyper green stitching is in the back as well. We've got leather, we've got Alcantara, and we've got a little bit of cushion here, bit raised to support your legs, because what we're finding in these electric cars, where they've got the sort of flat bottom or slightly raised floor, is that you're not getting as much sort of support here. But that's good. They tried to sort of negate that, even though my legs are hovering a little bit. But yeah, it's really, really nice and comfortable in the back. Isofix points are clearly stated, and it's got isofix up front as well. Lots of cars we've been doing lately, that is a little bit of a rarity. It's almost 50-50. Some people put isofix up front, some people don't in terms of manufacturers. So you can have your kid up front with you as well. Couple things as well, heated rear seats in this vRS. Yes, so both of us in the back here have warm bums as well as the people in the front. We've got a couple of vents there as well, so we've got the rear sort of climate control. But we've mentioned there's a bit of a theme with the storage up front. So you'd expect a nice little armrest with cup holders. Look at that, love that in the armrest. But what I didn't expect is to have this sort of removable compartment that sits on the flat floor just in front of the vents, that also has two little pop out cup holders. I don't know how many cups they expect us to have here in the back, but it sits there and it's got a little compartment. I guess, you know, if you put your phone there or you want something to sort of access, you've also got a pocket here as well, and you've got another little pocket that fits your phone in. This is so well thought of for the passenger, this rear seat sort of setup. And I really, really like it. Now, to the electric charging stuff. Now, the book says that this will give you 339 miles of range. Now, that's pretty impressive, but also pretty ambitious considering this is a VRS, and you might get a little bit trigger happy with the accelerator pedal, so it might be a little bit less. It comes with an 82 kilowatt hour battery and an 185 kilowatt charger, which means 10 to 80% of range can be achieved in around about 26 minutes. Which is on par with most cars. Half an hour or so, you're looking good. Okay, for a start, finding a good seat position before you drive in this Elroq is not a problem. There's a lot of reach and a lot of movement in the steering wheel, and these electric seats are fantastic. Electric lumbar support, electric everything, and they're really, really nice. So that is the first and foremost. And when driving it, let's talk about the simple things that we take for granted. First of all, visibility and comfort. It is fantastic. I did mention there's a little bit of a Focus RS feel to this car seat when you get in. You can manage to give yourself a little bit of a dead leg if you don't do it right. But once you're in it, they hug you very nicely, and I can't really complain. And visibility is fantastic. Huge screen. There's a big pillar here, but that's not really impacting me. I've got a little bit of a screen there, and out the back, I've got perfect visibility. So literally, this car is ticking all sorts of boxes for me, because I like to go a little bit quicker, and I like to be comfortable and have everything that an SUV promises, and this is doing it so far. Let's talk about the performance of the vRS, because that is why you get a vRS, right? So good news, it does feel very responsive when you put your foot down, just like a lot of electric cars that we've had recently. I've put my foot down there in comfort mode and it goes and it shifts really nicely. In terms of power, this will give you 340 brake horsepower and also get you to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. Now that is pretty quick considering you're driving a car that's over 2.2 tons. So it's quite a substantial car, but it doesn't feel like you're lugging around a cumbersome SUV or 4x4. You know, things like the Skoda Kodiaq, huge car, and you do actually feel like you're at a height and you do feel like you're sort of lugging it around a little bit. This is so smooth, as you'd expect to go with that sort of very quiet whirring noise of an electric vehicle. When I do click the mode button just here, that is one of my buttons just under the infotainment system, I've got normal, I've got comfort, I've got sport, I've got traction, I've got individual, I've got all sorts. But do we put it into sport mode and does anything happen? Well, of course we put it into sport mode, we're in a vRS. So let's see if anything happens off the line here. It is straight away more responsive and yes, gets me off the line without a problem. It doesn't actually throw me back into the seat as much as the BYD Seal, for example, that we did a couple of weeks ago. I know it's a completely different vehicle, it's more of a saloon vehicle, but just to give you that sort of electric sort of pulse that goes through you and throws you back in the seat, it doesn't quite do that, and I thought the vRS would. That's probably going to tick a lot of boxes for people looking at this for their daily, which is the question I asked at the start of the video. Is this going to be your new daily? Well, I'd say yes. It's not going to give you whiplash as much as some of the other electric vehicles that go to 60 miles per hour under 6 seconds. Right, we've been driving it in around town, and just to let you know, good news, this has got all the sort of driving assist that you can want. We've got lane assist, we've got assisted braking, we've also got the paddles here that operate the regen braking system as well, and it beeps at you when you're skirting close to the speed limit, and it all tells you on this quite small driver display that we mentioned. It's got everything you want, as most electric cars have, and you do need in and around town, especially a busy sort of town that I'm driving around today. All in all, I'd say this car ticks pretty much every box for me, and I'm turning heads while I do it. The hyper-green paint job that's exclusive, by the way, to the Enyaq and the Elroq is doing the job, turning some heads, and why shouldn't it? But I'm pretty pleased. I've got cruise control on here. It's fantastic for motorway journeys and in and around town driving, because the steering is very light and you do not feel like you're driving something that is you know, very similar to a tank. It is absolutely perfect for that as well. So nearly perfect is the order of the day. I think that is how I'd summarize the Škoda Elroq vRS. Nearly perfect. There we go. That is the Škoda Elroq vRS complete, and what a car it is. It's pretty much nearly perfect, because if you're a family man like me, it ticks all the boxes. I mean, look at that boot. I went on about it for ages. The interior is a little bit special, and it is sporty. When you put your foot down, you are rivaling a lot of hot hatches out there in terms of speed. So yeah, this is an absolute all-rounder, but do not take my word for it. Get yourself down to a Vertu dealership and try this Škoda Elroq vRS for yourself. You will not regret it, and we will see you very soon for our next car.